Hey guys, my name is Fire and welcome back to another video. Now recently I've been hearing a saying going around a little bit, and this has been going on for years now, but it is make CoD great again. And of course people have been saying this for years now. People have been saying make CoD great again, bring back Modern Warfare 2 or remaster Modern Warfare 2 or do what they did back in them days to make CoD great again. This is how we make CoD great again. This is how we do it. We remaster these games, we bring these games back. We did exactly what they did back in these old games. And if you look at them games are a buggy piece of pile of shit that really don't belong in today's standards. They're not very good games, they're not bad games, but they're definitely very buggy piles of shit that generally don't really fit into today's standards. And I think that's kind of why the whole like make CoD great again thing kind of annoys me a bit, because a lot of people anyway look at it as if we bring back CoD 4, which we remastered CoD 4, they have remastered CoD 4 with Modern Warfare Remastered, which the game was well received enough, and the remaster was very true to the original CoD 4 before they had supply drops and everything like that. So it was good for the people that bought the game or that wanted to go back to the experience that played CoD 4 before. And generally the people that did want the game and played CoD 4 before, generally a lot of people got kind of bored of the game and didn't play it all that much, because a lot of the stuff is pretty much the same as the original CoD 4, and keep in mind it's a buggy piece of shit compared to today's standards. Look at the stuff you have: stopping power, martyrdom, juggernaut, frag times 3. You have so many fucked up perks in that game to really not make it a balanced game at all. And the maps in that game, even though a lot of people do like them, I know that, and there was some maps in the game that I did like. I never played CoD 4, I was never the biggest fan of like bigger maps anyway in CoD, because I'm generally new enough to CoD. I didn't really like the maps too much in that game. Most of the maps anyway, I hated Overgrown. I just despised that map. I know most people hated Overgrown anyway, even the people that did like most of the maps in that game. I remember one map, Crash was a pretty fun map, and there was some good maps in that game, but most of them were just too big for my liking. Besides Shipment, I loved Shipment. Shipment was so much fucking fun. I don't know, it was a chaos of just death, and yeah, you died a lot in that map, but it was a lot of fun at the same time. I generally had a lot of fun playing that map. I don't know why so much people had a problem with it. I guess if you like having like high KD and you don't want your KD to get fucked, but I don't know, it just really didn't bother me that much. But yeah, coming back to the whole mentality of make CoD great again, we have to go back to Modern Warfare 2 and CoD 4 and all these different games that were great again. How exactly do we make CoD great again? They've complained that CoD is the exact same thing every single year. We change it up, people get pissed off because there's change, and then you go back to the roots and then people get pissed off because it's boring or the same thing again. Call of Duty generally is the same thing every year, and you can't really argue that it isn't, because generally every game, even though it's different, has different maps and different things, yeah, sure, but it doesn't really change up the franchise enough to make it different and make it stand out. And I think a big problem with this is its yearly release cycle. Games like Battlefield generally release every 2 to 3 years, and that is enough time and space for people to get adapted to the game, people to feel rewarded, and people feel like whenever they're playing a game, they're making worthwhile out of the game. But at the same time, you don't want to make too much space in between your next game to make that game kind of boring and irrelevant, and people get bored of the game. So I think Battlefield does a good having a 2 to 3 year break. What I would really like to see is, I would like to see a 3-year break with Call of Duty and make Treyarch make only CoD games. I would love to see that, because it would bring in enough variety to the games having a 3-year break. But at the same time, whenever you're playing that CoD game, you know at the end of that year there's not a new CoD game just around the corner. So everything that you do in that CoD game, all the money you spend, or if you do spend money on CoD points and supply drops, and all the shit that you gather and level up and do in that game, just kind of feels worthwhile or worthless, and it just doesn't feel worthwhile at all. I think Treyarch is a great developer, and I think Treyarch could really make some good CoDs. They have made some good CoDs, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, all them CoDs in my opinion are great, and World at War, even though I haven't played too much of the multiplayer, it is a very good CoD game. So that is my idea. I think that we should fire Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward, get them out of there, and make Sledgehammer make only CoD games. Now, I think a 3-year break might be kind of a large gap, especially generally for usual CoD games. Maybe people would say maybe more like a 2-year gap, but I think a 3-year gap would be good. I think if we keep a game constantly updated, and what I would love, and something that I would absolutely love to see, the ideal CoD game for me is a 3-year life cycle in between the games. Treyarch makes all the CoD games, as well as having a fair loot system, not like weapons and different things hidden behind it, as well as giving us a currency to be able to buy the stuff, everything in supply drops, making it fair, maybe giving us some challenges to earn like skins and unlockables and different things, because I would like to see a loot box system. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't think most people do have a problem with that. If there is a way to earn the shit in it, and there isn't bullshit weapons hidden behind the loot box, I think it would be a fair system. As well, and I know this is a long shot now, but as well as giving us free maps, free guns, and free unlockables and different things throughout the game's life cycle to make it feel fresh and new and just update the game constantly. If we look at games like Titanfall or Overwatch or different games like this that do this system, they give us free maps, they give us free heroes or whatever in Overwatch, they give us all this free shit. Whenever you buy the game, you buy it once and that is it. If you want to spend more money on loot boxes in Overwatch, you can, and it's fine. It's all cosmetic, it's all skins, it doesn't affect the gameplay in any way. And whenever you put your 50, 60, I believe the game's even like $30 right now, into the game, you have that game for life. You don't have to pay extra for DLC or anything like that. You have everything in that game besides, of course, the loot boxes, but you can't earn them within the game. You have everything within that game for the one price. It's a one-time buy thing only, and it's not like there's extra added on DLC. And I think a lot of games really need to drop the mindset of DLC. I think DLC is a very old thing right now, and I think it needs to be dropped, even though it has come in a lot more with microtransactions and loot boxes and different things. I think this is a mentality and a mindset that needs to be dropped by a lot of developers and need to give us free shit. Because I think the more games get updated and the more they feel fresh, like even Splatoon 2 does this, is they give us like free maps and different things. A lot of games have been doing this, and it makes the game feel fresh and makes it feel like your purchase for the game is worth it. And that is something that CoD really does need to do. I cannot see them doing that though. I just can't see that happening. This is in an ideal world, which I think is pretty much impossible to happen. This is something that I would love to see for CoD. But it's something, unfortunately, I don't know, I just can't really see happening. Anyway guys, that's pretty much all I had to say in this video guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And yeah, I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.